It's recording, I think. Okay.
Yes.
So, welcome. Today we're gonna start discussing the topic of abortion and if should be legal or not. I'm gonna start showing you a video about it. It's a news video, like kind of a discussion of South Korea. In Korea already, abortion has been legalized, but this was just when the topic was like very hot. So let's see. Can you see the video? Okay.
Yes.
Please let me know if the sound it's okay.
Over whether abortion
Is it okay? Okay, let's start.
should be legal is a controversial issue all over the world. And here in Korea, the practice has been illegal since the mid-20th century. However, there's a chance that the Constitutional Court might overturn the country's anti-abortion law this week. Our Oh Soo-young has more.
South Korea's Constitutional Court will make a landmark ruling this week on whether women should have the right to end their pregnancies. The 9-member panel will deliver its verdict on Thursday regarding the 1953 law criminalizing women and medical workers who carry out abortions. Abortion is currently illegal in Korea under the Criminal Act, which imposes a maximum fine of 2 million won or a year in prison for intentional miscarriages. Physicians are permitted to carry out abortions only in the case of rape or incest, or if the pregnancy could jeopardize the mother or the baby's health. However, abortion is believed to be widely practiced behind closed doors in Korea. 1 in 5 women who experienced pregnancy were found to have terminated their pregnancies, according to a survey last September and October by the state-run Korea Institute for Health and Social Affairs. Most of the terminations are carried out in medical clinics, but a growing number of women are also acquiring abortion pills illegally from abroad. This has generated concern about the health and safety of such procedures, on top of the ongoing ethical debate over a woman's right to choose and the sanctity of life. The issue was previously raised at the Constitutional Court in 2012, with the judges ruling that the anti-abortion law was constitutional, recognizing a fetus as a separate entity with the right to life. However, many in legal circles expect the panel of judges to deliver the opposite verdict this time around. 6 out of 9 judges must rule against the law to declare it unconstitutional. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.
Okay. Okay, everyone. So that was the video, introductory video. Do you have any question up to this point? Oh, please.
So the verdict was passed in which year in Korea?
Yeah, the result already have been done and it has been legalized.
So which year was this verdict?
Last year, early last year.
Last year. So before last year, abortion was illegal in Korea.
Yeah, it was illegal, but it could be done until under 3 circumstances. As the video mentioned, one was if there was rape. Second, if the life of the mother was in danger. And third, if there was some underlying medical conditions. Yeah. Is there any other question? If not, then I'm gonna proceed and I'm gonna share. This can you see it? I'm not sure. These discussion questions that I would like to propose so we can start. The first one will be, should abortion be legalized?
Actually, yes, it was invisible. It's now.
It's not visible or it is visible?
It is now.
It is. Okay, thank you. So any one of you would like to start? No?
Yes, I'll go first. I'm totally the side of the agree.
You agree, right?
Yes, I agree that abortion should be legalized because actually I have few friends that they've done abortion before it's been legalized, and it was like I don't think it's the special circumstance for them because I mean, yes, it's special, but it's not including the condition of legal side because they said they just done mistake and they just mistakenly have the baby and they're too young and then they didn't meant to have the baby and then even they don't have any um they don't have any money or time to raise the baby, but there is no choice for them, so they just go the clinic, and then illegally they just paid, and then of course the money was very high, and even the young they just make money by, and some friends asked me to borrow for the abortion, and I don't think it's really good for them because even it's illegal, but some people need to like abort.
Okay, so if I understand right, like you agree, you think that abortion should be legalized because even if it doesn't follow under those three conditions that was previously mentioned, women will do it, and then it's unfair
Yes.
for them to go to that. Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else would like to participate on the topic? Should it be legalized or not?
Actually, I'd like to say a couple of things. I hope I don't sound rude because this is a very sensitive topic and it just ticks me off every time it comes up because abortion is a choice of the person who is pregnant because it is their body, their rules, because they can feel how they are feeling. If it's forced, even if they like I don't know if it makes sense because even if they pass the law of aborting a fetus, and the thing is, there's only a certain time limit where you can abort a fetus. After that, it becomes very difficult. So it's very, it's like they did a really good job by actually legalizing abortion because when a female is pregnant, they go through a lot of phases, which is not experienceable by other men. And also, I'm really glad they did legalize the abortion because this would have been a very different topic and I would have said a lot of things. And it's a really good thing. And the third question that is asked, like, can abortion be considered a murder? It's I think not because I think it's not a murder because in Korea if I'm not wrong they consider the age of the child since the I don't know the fetus has appeared something like that like do they
Okay.
consider
Yes, so
yeah
I think that will be another question, and it will be will ask you to really think about can abortion be considered murder? And what you mentioned is very interesting because in Korea, actually, we see the Korean international age. It start counts once it's in the womb.
yes.
So,
So first I'll just say that abortion is not murder and I'll just let the other two talk and just come back to my point again.
okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Can abortion, now that we jump to this next question, so should it be legalized or not? And if not, then is it because it's considered a murder? Should or can be considered a murder? Um,
Actually, I have opinion.
well, please.
Yeah, so I agree with the legalization of abortion, and I think the child's life is subordinate to the mother, and even if it's not subordinate, the responsibility for choice lies with the parents. And for parents who are worried about abortion, legalization of abortion guarantees freedom of choice, and I think it should be legally protected for mothers who become pregnant due to the wrong choice. And also, I think abortion is necessary to prevent children born in unfortunate family environments in advance. And however, I disagree with the teenage abortion. Yeah.
Okay, so then actually, thank you very much for your comment, Hazel. It can lead us to jump to the question. So if it should be legal, then should it be under specific circumstances? Should you mention it should be legal, but not for teenagers? Is it correct, my understanding of it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. What do you guys think about that? Anyone else that would like to comment? Please go ahead.
Um, I'm on the page with the Hazel because like abortion should be legalized because if the abortion is illegal, then it becomes a woman's fault. I mean, men and women do the thing, but the responsibility, all of the responsibility is on women if the abortion is illegal. But so, but Ben has to take a responsibility on it, and also Ben, because Ben did the mistake, like he doesn't use a rubber, like
Yes.
it's a very huge fault, I think. So with this reason, I think the abortion should be legalized.
Okay, thank you, Jean. Okay, so all of you agree, are saying yes, it should be legalized. But then, like, let's jump to the fourth question. So, are unborn babies human? Like, are they babies? Are they just cells, a fetus? So, does human life and being a human being begins since the womb, or does it start after? Once is once the birth, after birth. So I would like to hear your thoughts on that.
I'll go first for this thing. First of all, when the abortion take place, like it's not a baby, okay? It's still a fetus. It's an if we consider egg, if we eat an egg on daily basis, it's not considered as murder. It's not we just cut a living being. It's still not breathing. It's still just in a developing stage. So I don't think the fetus has the rights. Like it's not like rights, it's just basically depends on the woman's choice. Because even I think the point was mentioned by Hazel that teenage pregnancy, was it like to legalize teenage abortion or just illegalize teenage abortion? I just couldn't get it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Any other comment?
I I agree with Lakshmi because I think the right for the mother is more important than the something in their body. Like before the birth, it's just I don't think it has no right to be in considered as human because the mother or the responsibility of the woman who going to be having the baby
Yes.
has more difficulties
Okay.
than the baby. So I think it's not a matter of being legalized or illegalized because if it's just legalized, then just women can choose to have a baby or not.
Okay.
And
Thank
yes.
you. Yes. Anyone else?
I like to just weigh in just an extra points in case they are not mentioned in like in further
Okay.
opinion. I just want to say instead of thinking why abortion should be legalized or illegalized, we should just keep it legalized since it's a freedom of right for a certain woman. And apart from this, we should actually promote sex education and the human bodies, human rights, and how people should prevent or take care of themselves during pregnancies, or how should they take decisions based on certain situations. Because this is a case in India. What happens is it is legal in India, but whenever you go to a gynecologist before doing a certain procedures, they do this thing that like they just make you hear the heartbeats of the fetus. So it's just psychologically very traumatizing for a mother if the mother is thinking about aborting the baby. So instead of doing that, we should probably come up with institutions or classes or communities which just help
Okay.
women to understand what is right and what is wrong and what should be done instead of making them, pressurizing them to
Okay.
take a certain
Thank you.
decision.
So actually, so you're mentioning that it should be legalized, and Eugene also mentioned that it should be legalized, no problem, like no restriction. But then before Hazel mentioned, it should be under certain specific circumstances, and for teenagers, it shouldn't be available. So what about the other circumstances, time frame, rape, genetic disease? Should abortion be legalized freely without no restrictions, no circumstances, or should it have certain circumstances only, and only in those cases be legalized?
I think there should not be any type of circumstances,
Okay.
like no circumstance whatsoever, because it is, and again I say it is a choice of the woman who's bearing the child. It's none other's business, no one's business.
Okay. Anyone else? Hazel, would you like to say something? Do you have any opinions? Since you were saying for teenagers,
Yeah,
there should be some restriction.
I agree with the Lakshmi's opinion because I think what is more important than legalizing abortion for teenagers is education to prevent this. So there must be a sex education for children in household or school to know that the importance, and I think the parents will be responsible for the adolescents abortion. So with the agreements, adolescents teenagers parents, it could be depend on the circumstance. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to the next question. One of the question is, do abortion reduce the number of adoptable babies? Would that be something that you guys will agree or disagree with? Anyone?
I think about adoptable babies are not a problem for the society because, like, technically speaking, these babies are babies which don't have parents and which are just living alone, and people are able to adopt them. So it's not like, I don't know how this is relevant to the topic, but adopting babies is not a pregnant woman's responsibility. She's not bearing children to other people to adopt them. So I don't think
Well, if
it's
more women are aborted, there are less baby available to be give up for adoption. So why should women abort instead of just having the baby and then giving up for adoption? Kind of.
question to why is birthing a baby is a 9-month process with a psychological and physical trauma. It takes a lot of toll on a certain woman, on a specific woman. Even like, if generally speaking, even during our menstruation period, just for the 7 days, we go through a lot of pain, like PMSing, mood swings, and everything. So this goes on for 9 months.
Okay.
So just because other people can adopt my baby, I cannot go through a 9-month process of torture and mental trauma. If it's against my will, it's a torture. If it's not against my will, if I am willing to give birth to a baby because I feel empathy towards it, it could be a different opinion on it.
Okay, thank you very much. So actually you mentioned like the psychological or how the psychological effect that it could have on a woman. So our, I would like to move to our final question. We will be, are women who receive abortion less likely to suffer mental health problems that women denied abortion? Fuyun, would you like to participate?
I actually read a news article that the women who receive abortion really have less mental suffering than the woman who gave birth. I didn't read the article thoroughly, but I guess the reason why women feel more comfortable when they did abortion is because they thought like logically, like ideally, like how can I say, um they consider reality more than people who didn't do abortion, because most of the people who make decisions to do abortion is because they can't make a living by themselves and even can't feed their baby. That's why they choose the abortion. So uh, in my opinion, a woman who did abortion uh, feels less suffering.
But some articles also, if you read and you find online, there are articles that mention that actually women who go through abortion suffer a lot of psychological damage and are very traumatized with the experience and get into depression. So um, who are we to say that one can be um, one experience can be more traumatizing than the other? I would like to hear your thoughts about that. Anyone else? Thank you very much, Ujun, for your sharing your thoughts. You can comment on what I just said, or anyone else can.
Maybe it depends on how the government support the single women. Like if there's what, how can I say, welfare system for like welfare system for women and baby, then they would be fine. But if there's nothing to a woman and baby, then I guess it can also generate like serious social problems.
Okay, thank you very much. Hazel, what are your thoughts on this?
I think in Korea, there are many mothers who quit their job to give birth to children. And there is still a stereotype in Korea that women should do household chores than father. So for Korean mothers who feel unhappy because giving birth to children interferes with their work, legalized abortion is likely to make them mentally healthier. Yeah.
Ubin, would you like to share your thoughts? Thank you.
I also agree with Ujang that it depends on the support of government, and then it also depends on the woman who did the abortion or not. And but I think if it's legalized and then they can choose, they they do abortion or not, and then it prove in any ways of their mental health, I think. But it's illegal, and then they block to do something they want, then it make them depressed more, I think.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts on the topic. Now that we have ended, I will share my personal thoughts. Yeah, I agree that abortion should be legalized. But it's very interesting because actually many of the points that I was making as a question, pro-life people, those are the arguments that they use. They said like abortion is murder, or women who receive abortion are like having a lot of psychological damage. So I just wanted to see if I was asking these arguments as questions, how will people react? So anyways, thank you very much. And yeah, that's it for today. I think we can go back to the main room. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Okay, can I stop this?